Welcome to Endurance, Noise, and Random Musings. I'm your host, Andy Noise. It is April 1st, 2021, 8:30 in the evening here in Bakersfield, California, and on with some Instagram. First, this, of course, is Harvey Lewis, ultra runner, who broke the FKT this past summer, the Badwater record that Marshall Ulrich had held for so many years. And he just recently did a backyard in Ohio, and he's sporting a nice beard there, too. I haven't seen him with a beard. Didn't even recognize it. It says, it's been just over a week and a couple of days since finishing the Ohio Backyard Ultra with 55 hours and 229.35 miles. Really can't say enough about being a very well-organized run by SCO Trent Vents and Owen Running and an outstanding field. Leads the furthest mileage push in a Backyard Ultra in the U.S. outside of Biggs Backyard. Tribute to the full field of 108 starters, 38 runners who made it to 100 miles, 8 to 150, and Jennifer Russo, 55 years young, crushing it to the assist at 225. Going to share a 4-part series highlighting elements of the Backyard Ultra format in the week ahead. My favorite aspect of the race was probably what some may say was the most challenging, that being a steep trail climb just under 500 feet each daytime loop. Yikes. But my favorite aspect was to see runners out there doing what they love and to have the community camaraderie that they treasure. More to come. Thank you, Harvey, for those words, and very interested to see that, so I reposted that. Then we scroll up. Oh, there's a picture of my Milo, and he just loves to bend down there and give him a drink. And then, of course, Molly Dog. And these pictures were from last year when I had my grease fall, and I could hardly walk, and so they were very concerned and keep an eye on Dad. And there's Milo again looking at me. So some random musings there. Another picture. This picture is from 2010. It was a boot camp that inspired me to start my run camp by Joe Peterson. And this young lady was doing her mile-timed event. And that just popped up on my Google Photos. So I thought I'd post it there. So very nice. I like this article. Well, not like it, actually. It's kind of sad news. Patagonia, it's a great picture. But it says, Argentina closes borders just days before the Patagonia race. All the international pros won't join this incredible race this year. Today, April 1st. Yesterday, Zegma was canceled, and that's a great trail race as well. Bad news for Argentina. Macron announced yesterday a new lockdown in France. Less than 5 months to UTMB 2021. And yeah, I mean, one of the things, I'm on this Clubhouse, and, you know, you can say what you want. You know, we've been, obviously, everybody complaining so much about the past president, but, you know, compared to the rest of the world, I mean, my sons who are in their late 20s all got the COVID shot yesterday, the Pfizer one, and, you know, we've got like over half of our 65 and older people vaccinated, and we're not having so many outbreaks, so it's definitely hitting hard. And when I talk to people from around the world on Clubhouse, I am amazed at how things are happening in their countries, so it really hits home. So hopefully things will get better. Then scrolling up, yesterday we were out walking on the out by Lake Ming, where I'm doing a 5K coming up, and we saw this bad boy. There were a couple of young ladies up ahead of us who stopped and were pretty freaked out about it. I don't think they've ever really come across snakes, which this time of year, it was in the 80s today, so the snakes are loving it. This bad boy was not a rattlesnake. He was just a common gopher snake, and he just went scurrying away, as you can see. And I did a little reel to Duran Duran, Union of the Snake, showing my age there. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? So got my snake, and we scroll up. Another little video with those things. I like playing with those. So my sleep is still jacked up. So what do? Get on the treadmill, thank heavens. And I did this Swift workout. It was actually a group workout, so it was kind of nice chasing people around, and ended up doing 5K because I am trying to do a 100-mile week this week, and I am on the process of it. It's 23K a day, so today's day 4, so I needed 92K, and I think I'm at 95K, so it's going to be kind of tough. I did a 100-mile week at the beginning of the year, but I've been kind of slacking. So then some other photos. This was 2009. Love the kid here on the left. That's the Bakersfield kid. And then, of course, Andrew Area, who I was coaching, and a young Highland guy there. A couple other photos from other races from Bakersfield this time of year, 2009. And then, of course, my Being Boring This Morning video talking about what I got up this morning. Well, I didn't get up. I walked on the treadmill, stayed up for a few hours. I think I took a nap from 4 to 5. And when I went out, I felt terrible. But, yeah, as always happens, just stick to the routine. You work out in the evening, go work out. And then by the end of the workout, I was feeling pretty good. So check that out. I put a little teaser on here, but it's on my channel, which you're probably watching. So it's kind of cool. I was walking by, and I walk by this place all the time, and I guess they're out race car driving, and it's pretty lo-fi. Check out the number 24 and all that, kind of a duct tape number. Beautiful morning this morning with some sunsets. I was out a little later. Here I'm behind the Sam Lynn Ballpark, which is the finish area for the Judgment Day Half Marathon, which is my main focus this year, to train for that. And I see this billboard all the time about Botox and when the first wrinkle comes. And this gal looks so much like a friend of mine, but I won't dare say who because she might get upset but yeah, I see this commercial all the time. And Lamar, the billboard company, another friend of mine works for them, and she does the billboard salesperson. And then my buddies, the older crew, guy waving at me there in the neon yellow is Mr. Coles, who caught at Bakersfield High and probably retired 20 years ago, but still comes out there and volunteers and coaches. And he's out every morning, practically out there riding his bike. Good guy. And then, of course, my workouts this morning. And then this evening I went out for a workout. And once again, even though they've been doing barriers, here's these people riding a Jeep on the bike path. I've been thinking the city, they've been fixing the lights at Beach Park, and they've been putting barriers and rocks in the way so that at least there's not as many people doing drive-in camping. But yesterday I was out at Hart Park, so I was riding around on a mountain bike. It just seems like these people just do whatever they want. And then, so this evening, I needed an 8K to get my 23K in, and I went out and did it. And it's kind of interesting. I switched over to kilometers. You got to do like 14.4 miles to get a 100-mile week. And interestingly, that computes out to like a 23K. So I just say I need to do an MJ today, which would be, who's the most famous number 23 in the world? Michael Jordan. So I just think of it as like that. So that's my Instagram and some Instagram news, random musings. And then I'd really, like I said, I don't even really need to do Strava because it's on here. I did do my KGB workouts. Let's go to Twitter. I didn't realize, but Twitter was really hitting it up. And in fact, actually, I left off one of the stories on Instagram, young lady. Here it is. So this is amazing. I've got so many friends who are big dog fans, and I myself have 3 dogs. I got a Chug, which is a Chihuahua pug mix. I've got a pure pug, Miss Molly, and I've got Milo. We don't know what Milo is. He's wiener dog and something else. But check this out. Paw sock system, grippy outside. At first you think, wow, it's like a heel shoe. But it's all here, and I won't read the entire thing, but it says, Solomon inspired by the quality time spent on trails with our favorite 4-legged runners and drawing on our trail running expertise, the Crosspaw is Solomon's first ever dog-orientated trail running shoe. Ideal for short or long runs, and you can follow me on Twitter and read the rest. And I guess I might have been inspired because if you watch the Iditarod, which I love watching, they put little booties on those dogs. And I remember one of the team that had these bright, brilliant neon colors. It was kind of funny just to see them running in the snow with their little booties on. So definitely got to get you a pair. I sent this link to my good friend Liz, who loves Solomon shoes. And I got the appropriate reaction from her. So very good with Solomon. And so then, like I said, let's jump over to Twitter. This was kind of interesting. It says they thru-hiked 2650 miles in 2018, and the seed was sown for attempting what's known as the Triple Crown of hiking: the PCT, the Appalachian Trail, and the Continental Divide. A 6-person family. Wow, that's some family time there. I've been on a lot of the PCT helping people, and it's definitely a difficult task. And I would love to do it, but I just can't. I hate backpacking. And if you watch these videos, you know how little I sleep? Well, when I'm backpacking, I don't sleep at all. But at least here in my house, I've got the internet and I got electricity. I always tell people I'd be a great hiker if I could have power. And people are like, but you're supposed to get away from the world. I'm like, no, I like to be connected. Scooting on up, Oceania Olympic Athletics Association says, congratulations to Linda Hall of Australia, who tonight at the Box Hill became the first Oceania woman to break 4 minutes for the 1500, finishing in a time of 3:59.67. So congratulations to her. And that's a big achievement when you think about it. And women's running, they're just getting faster and faster. Here's one from Trail Runner. It says, and I like a lot of their articles, it says, your most important piece of trail equipment is not your shoes, hydration pack, or wrist computer, rather a well-crafted slice of pizza. And yes, that is the case. My good friend Allison and me, we often get ridiculed because we like those Hawaiian pizzas. fruit doesn't belong on pizza. Yes, it does. So I'll eat the meat ones too. Scrolling on up here, Let's Run says, huge news to start off April. Usain Bolt is back to protect his legacy. He got COVID this year. And Alberto Salazar is back to try and save his. Plus Jerry Schumacher interview. Wow, they've really got a scoop there because Jerry never, ever talks. So it should be exciting to hear that. This young man, I really enjoyed following him last summer on his FKTs. Corey Waltering is eyeing another FKT at the Arizona Trail. This weekend he's headed to the Peanut Trail too, and he definitely gets it done. In fact, he was on, I think it was that the amazing, it's not the Amazing Race, but the Eco Challenge. Pretty sure he was one of the people on that team. I remember noticing that later on. And then I Run Far, another great site, says, great news for those who think 100 miles is not that far. The Western States 100 announces it's become a 200-mile race starting in 2022. Oh, that works perfect. I've crewed and paced Tahoe 200, which is an awesome race, and the Western States goes there. I wonder if it'll be an out and back. That would be pretty exciting. So, stay on the alert for that. Then we go here, another I Run Far article, which I really liked, and this is my good friend, and I've known her for many, many years, my fellow walker, Yolanda Holder, and that's a picture of her at the Dome, and congratulations to her. They've done an in-depth profile, and I plan on reading that and adding to it. Well, I'm going to read it and do it on here on the YouTubes. Power walker of American Ultra Running, who is now rising the ranks, walking ranks. And yeah, that's the king. She's now gone and learned the technique and has been setting records and doing other things, and she, like I often talk about it, in 2019, we went to the Dome and the judge went there, and her and Anthony Culpepper both walked 100 miles in under 24 hours to just become, there's not even 100 people who have done it since like the 1870s. So congratulations to Yolanda. And she's right now training to go to the Dome and set some more records. She's done, I think now, 413 miles. My dream someday is to do 400, but every time I go for 400, I blow up. So my PR is only 322. What's amazing with this Dome was Yolanda was known as the marathon kind of diva. She did, 100 marathons in a year. And then actually her first 100-miler was my first 100-miler, where we both did the Endurance Challenge, where you start in Corona, California, and you end up at the Santa Monica Pier. And I actually beat her that time, not that I very often. And so then she kind of got the 100 bug, wasn't doing too many of them. And then this race came in 2014 that the picture's from, and the Dome, and you can see there the Dome, and in fact, I almost think, hey, am I there? And it's an indoor facility, and Joe Fee just set the race up, and he did beat the American record, got like 580 miles. And Yolanda shows up, not known as a multi-day racer, and she just walked, and she ended up walking her way in the 10th place and got to 400 miles, and it was just a phenomenal performance. And me and her were there all by ourselves. I went for 400, blew up really bad, and so the last day or two, I just spent it doing some laps, keeping an eye on her. And I remember it was so exciting, like with a day to go, she was battling a couple of Japanese guys, and then she walked by me and she said, I just passed him. And then the next 24 hours trying to hold him off. And then I was kind of helping her as a crew. And then I remember probably one of the best things ever was when she was getting close to the 400 mark. I got to say to the walking diva who was done so many marathons, I said, Yolanda, you only got a marathon to go. And she had that big smile that you can see here. And she just smiled and just motored and got that 400. And she's done 3 or 4 400, probably, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. So many 400 performances is phenomenal. And it's just so great that right above her, another one I retweeted was from the Olympics. The potential for greatness lives within each of us. Wilma Rudolph, USA Olympics. Absolutely awesome talk there. And gosh, there was just so much good stuff, and it's Thursday. And of course, this weekend, we got Hayward Field. It's got renovated and it's ready to go. It says the last time they had a track meet there, marathon record was 2:02:57. The Nike Oregon project still existed. Salazar got in trouble and that got closed down. Donald Trump had 0 impeachments, and we are 18 months away from learning the word coronavirus. Tomorrow, track is back at Hayward Field. Definitely going to go find out where that is and watch some of it because I always enjoy it. This guy, if you listen to my videos, I really like him. Brad Stuhlberg, simple path to achieve big goals. Define the process or the steps it will take to get the goal. Focus on nailing those steps day in and day out. Understanding some days will be better than others, just the way it goes. Keep showing up. Eventually you'll get there. And that's definitely the case. And I definitely hold that to heart. National parks, everybody's going to be out here. It says the move to replace Zion National Park's aging shuttle buses with an electric fleet promises to be one of the first in a series of actions intended to overhaul the 640,000 plus government vehicles. I know I love my electric vehicle. I love that Prius of mine. And that is all on Twitter, Endurance, Noise, and Random Musings. In the show notes, I put links to my Twitter account and my Instagram account. Follow me if you'd like. And thank you for watching these videos and the likes and the comments. And please, hit subscribe. I really do want to try and get to that number. And in fact, shoot here. Let me see. I can't find it. Let's skip that for now. And let me finish up for bonus part, my training. So Fitbit said I got 17 miles because I do more miles than I log on Strava, and it's amazing. The Fitbit's pretty accurate. Resting heart rate still elevated, just can't get it down. And then the sleep, 3 hours and 20 minutes, just terrible. It's just not. I'm just not happy with that. You look here on the year to date. This week is 354. For a month was 320 because, the month just started. But the 3-month average was 608. So look at that. It's like 2 hours less, and then the year is 6 hours. And then last year was even better. You can see down there in April when I ended up in the hospital at the end of April, I was just not sleeping. So this is kind of scaring me, but I'm okay. And then, of course, just the exercise. I actually thought this morning when I was walking, I was on an elliptical, which is kind of funny. Guess I was hopping up and down. And the fluids, goal is 96. Got 72. This one's almost empty, so I'll pound it before I go to bed and fill that bad boy up. And that is the end of Endurance, Noise, and Random Musings in some of my training day. And so, as always, stay healthy, be boring. The 2013 Marin Ultra Challenge, I look back fondly on those days when there were races. You could count on races. And so back in 2013, I was hanging out a lot with my friend Tracy B, and she was running some races and doing really well. And it was in June, and she was in Orange County, I think, or maybe she was in Fresno. Yeah, by then she was in Fresno. So we're in Central California. It gets hot. So by June, you're in the 100-degree weather. And so she said, hey, you want to go to this race? And it was on June 23rd. And I'm like, I want to go to any race, but I definitely want to go to a race if it's out of Bakersfield, nice, cool. In the winter, winter it's cool here, but in the summer it gets hot. And the reason I tripped up on that is supposedly Mark Twain said the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. So we packed our bags and we headed off on a nice trip, got there the day before. And here's the always famous picture of, the packing of the bags. Here's her number before the race. Number 9 was her number. And so we ended up getting there the day before. We got a hotel in the Oakland area or somewhere around there. But anyways, you had the Jack London area and this Jack London monument. So yeah, it was by the Jack London train tracks. And it was a funky old place. And this was before Airbnb, but it was a weird place to spend the night. But we got there, spent the night, slept, and then we had to get up early, as always, with these ultras. And this ultra was a 50K and a 50-miler in the Marin Headlands. And I never really run up there, ever. And so Trace was doing the 50-miler, and I was doing the 50K. And we kind of had a side bet on if she would be able to catch me by the finish of the race, if she could do 50 miles before I could do 50K. So yeah, they left some stuff here at the Jack London. This cabin, I believe, was Jack London's, and a little funky little kind of place. Kind of like this, it's a coyote, bronze coyote. Yep. So, and then we went to San Francisco, Nob Hill. I like this little sign. And they had bib pick over there. I remember going to the San Francisco Running Company and getting the bib and all that. And then it was time, in fact, here's a picture of Trace at the shoe place, waiting in line to get her bib and her shirt. So we headed over there, flip through here. That's some older stuff. The Tracy B waiting around and Nob Hill. So get there in the morning, nice, cool, brisk morning. As you can tell, the ladies there are all bundled up, and it's always chilly to us in San Francisco. Tracy and I are probably going, this feels nice. And so she's got on her gear, and she's getting ready to go. Take a picture, the obligatory. Got the Golden Gate behind me. That shirt was one of her shirts she made with her company, Runner's Booty. And she's now doing Shirt Your Mouth. And another one with her water bottle. In fact, I was just looking for that water bottle. I need one of these. I've been wearing backpacks and stuff, and I think I'm going to go back to handhelds. That's the Amphipod one. Really nice, lightweight. So we were waiting, and then, of course, everyone's getting ready to get started. Chilly cold, good field of runners, and they were off. Here, I'm not sure who that was so long ago. So we're running along a flat area. We get to run underneath the Golden Gate Bridge and then head up into the mountains for the very first of one of many climbs. It was just such great views, having the sunrise come up. And here was like that first climb. Pretty nice trails, and I really enjoyed my day. Here I'm probably way in the back, and I'm concerned, I want to definitely make the cutoffs and stuff like that. Some pretty good hills. You can see all those little dots are all the people in front of me going up the first big climb. Got finally to the top of the climb, and then there was this nice fire road. I'm not much of a downhill runner, but at least we were able to make up some time, and we went running down to some bay. I don't know the place. I don't know the names, and should have done some half-ass internet research, but I'm just kind of going off of what I remember. And I remember just plummeting down and get on this flat, made up some ground, and we went to this lagoon bay. It was so pretty. It was just really nice. And like I said, the weather was just fabulous, and the views were so too. Good thing, I think here was good thing the tide was out. And I remember going over these bridges, really liked them. That was fun. And we're heading around here. So, then we started doing some more climbing, fire roads, and I always enjoy going uphill more than downhill, catching some people. There were a few sections that were kind of technical. I remember there was a really good photo they put on one of the ultra websites of Trace racing down one of these hills. Here's some of it. We went down and up one of these things, and it was pretty rocky. The good old logs in the way. And we were basically... So what happened in this race was, I was just kind of biding my time, trying to make ground, and kind of highlights of the race, besides just being out in beautiful trails, is I was coming to one aid station probably 20 miles into the race, and I hear someone coming up behind me, and the 50 milers kind of did an extra extension or something, and I see a runner coming up, and he's, all decked out in running gear, and I notice he's got all this North Face stuff, and then I realized, it's Dean Karnassus. So it was the first time I ever ran into Dean, and I actually kind of ran into the aid station with him. Just always been a friendly, great guy. I've gone to a few other races where he's been at, especially Santa Barbara 100, where I was crewing my friend Joel, and just always enjoyed Dean. He's always just so friendly to everybody, and no matter how tired he is, he's always talking to people and being just a super nice guy. And like this part here, this is actually where I met him. I remember running through these woods and going over these bridges, and it was just spectacular. It reminded me a lot of also that area, and probably some of the same trails. The Dipsy and the Double Dipsy, I've gone out there and walked and run that course, and I couldn't imagine trying to race it, especially with all those hundreds of people running over you, but definitely good times. So, saw Dean, and then, just the views. And when I'm at races, I'm always taking pictures of all the different people from over the years. Just gives me something to do, because I'm going to be out there for a long time. I ended up being out there for over 8 hours, downhills, uphills. I'm not sure if they still have this race going on. This race had a cash prizes to it, actually, too, which was pretty cool. So we ended up, just kind of all these other photos of various different people. Like I said, the woods. And then what basically happened was... I remember having one leg climb and then a big downhill, and I knew that the courses came back together. So I'm racing down the hill, and we head back to where going under the Golden Gate Bridge, and we got on that road, and by then there was just tons and tons of tourists on bicycles. And so they're whizzing back and forth, and here we are trying to run down the paved road and then the flat area, and it was pretty chaotic. I'm not a big fan of that kind of action. So ended up finishing before Trace, but not by much. And then she came in, and I was kind of glad. I really wanted to finish just so I could get some of the action. And it turned out she ended up winning the race, and it was pretty spectacular. I think she came in the top 10. I think she was 7th overall. So just a great day. After she picked up your awards and stuff, I mean, we went and found someplace nice to eat and just enjoyed the cool weather. But we didn't have a place to stay that night, and so it was time for us to go back to the heat of the Central Valley and at Bakersfield. So this was the Marine Ultra Marathon, 50K, 50 miler, and I would highly recommend running any of the races at. Here I am coming back and finishing, and I highly recommend doing races in the Marin County area. The trails are just really beautiful, and there's my finish line. And there's Trace finishing, a little bit tired, but she's definitely been happy. And there she is, got this guy here, Mark Tanaka. Tanaka is a San Francisco physician, I believe an emergency rooms physician. And so he works long hours. And then what does he do on his free time? He goes out and runs all the major ultras in California, runs tons and tons of hundreds. I think him and Trace ran together for a lot of the race. Just a super great guy, and I highly recommend getting a hold of him if you're interested in knowing where some great races are, because he definitely does know the races. And there she is, Trace, getting her awards, bundled up a little bit more, and I think she ended up getting $500 and a really nice GPS watch. So it was good times. There she is there it is. She got a Sonuto armbit, and then her award, Marin Ultra Challenge was the name. And there's me. So great race. Really enjoyed the weekend. Looking forward to when we have a time when we can go back to doing these things. Hard to believe this was 8 years ago.